on LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course Facebook. Let's make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, good. And today's topic is Q&A, questions and answers. There's a number of questions that we get all the time. We're going to be speaking about today, do dogs go to heaven? It's a question that we get. Do animals have a soul? Do they go to heaven? And if you have any other question, you could leave it in the comments. I'll do my best to take a look. I am new to the whole Facebook Live, but we'll do our best. Okay. So again, if you have any questions, you could write a comment, and I'll look at it after we deal with the 7 questions that are most often asked. Number 1, what is Chabad? Okay. Popular question, especially here in Newfoundland, with a very small Jewish community. Chabad, C-H-A-B-A-D, is actually a Hebrew acronym that stands for Chochma, Bina, Da'at, wisdom, understanding, knowledge. The translation is not precise, but that's the gist of it. And Chabad is a method of serving God. Within Judaism, we have different approaches. Everybody's trying to do the same thing, to serve God. The question is, what's the focus? What's the emphasis? And Chabad, which was founded in the late 1700s by Rabbi Shneur Zalman of the town of Liadi in Lithuania, his focus was on, or is, on the meditation, thinking about God, and that translating into emotions, into a feeling of love towards God, the desire to do what He wants us to do, the mitzvot, the commandments, and also fear, the fear to become separated from God by doing things He doesn't want us to do, sinning. And there's many levels of love, many levels of fear, but this is the basic gist: to meditate, and that translates into emotion, and that of course leads to action, thought, speech, and action. Also known as Lubavitch, Chabad Lubavitch, they go together. Why? Because for many years the movement was based in the city of Lubavitch in White Russia. Lubavitch is made up of 2 words. It's a Russian word, Luba, which means love, and Vich means a town, the town of love. And like the name goes, the residents were known for their brotherly love towards each other. This is something that Chabad is known for today, even though, of course, Chabad hasn't been in Lubavitch for the last, let's say, 20, 40. Yeah, it's over 80 years. Sorry, it's over 100 years, because the first one to leave the town of Lubavitch was the 5th Rebbe, who escaped the Germans, World War I. Okay, so it's over 100 years since the Chabad isn't in the town of Lubavitch. The 5th Rebbe, Rabbi Shalom Daber of Lubavitch, he moved to Rostov, to the town of Rostov, escaping, and then from Rostov, later on, the Chabad moved to Otvotsk, and then from Otvotsk they moved to Riga, Latvia, and then finally, which, by the way, this is the anniversary is today, the 6th Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, he moved from Riga to New York, and today's the anniversary. Tes Adar in the Hebrew calendar, the 9th day of the month of Adar. That year it was there were 2 Adars. It was a leap year in the Hebrew calendar, so it was the 9th of the 2nd Adar. This year there's only 1 month of Adar, so we celebrate the anniversary today. I see a comment. Randy, I wanted to let you know that Mark Bidman has died. Oh, I'm so sorry. Baruch Nain Emes, I had no idea. Oh my goodness. So sorry to hear that. Please be in touch with me after the live is over. So that's where Chabad started. We spoke about how Chabad ended up in North America, right? Once the 6th Rebbe moved from Riga, Chabad was based since then in Brooklyn, New York. Continued then by the seventh and current Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, that most of us know. And when we speak about the Rebbe, we usually refer to the seventh Rebbe. Okay, number 2, are you Orthodox? Also very good question. People ask, are you Orthodox? In general, in Chabad, we stay out of labels, but this is an accurate term. Yes, we are Orthodox. Within Orthodoxy, we are what's called Hasidic, following the teachings of the Hasidic movement, which was started by Rabbi Yisrael Baal Shem Tov in the early 1700s. So the Baal Shem Tov had many students. One of the main students was the Maggid of Mesrich, the preacher of Mesrich, and his main student was Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, who founded the Chabad movement. So that's a direct connection to the Hasidic movement. And yes, so Chabad technically is Orthodox, more specifically Hasidic. And this is connected to what Chabad is. The other question is, why did we move to Newfoundland? So I always say we got on the wrong flight, which it's a joke. We, as part of Chabad has a mandate to go out to Jewish communities that either don't have a Jewish infrastructure or could use a boost in their infrastructure. And as such, we were looking for a place to move to for a long time. Me, my wife, and our children. We had 3 children then. We have 4 now, thank God. And we were looking for a while for a place to move to serve the community. And some options came up which didn't work out. There was an option to go to Houston, Texas, Thailand, Hong Kong was looking. I think they still are looking. But we didn't want to go so far, and the one in Texas didn't work for whatever reason. And I asked a friend of mine in Toronto to keep his eyes and ears open for any positions that came up. And he said, listen, there's this fellow who owns real estate in Newfoundland. And this fellow felt that Newfoundland could really use a permanent Chabad presence. So we came here to Newfoundland 2016. We were here for a week in late January. And then we came back for a month, March, April, for the holidays of Purim and Passover. And we saw that indeed there was plenty of work to do, many Jews that weren't accounted for. And then we spent the rest of 2016 raising seed money, since Chabad doesn't support any of the operations financially. Chabad has many other forms of support, moral, there's many classes and so on. But each Chabad has to raise their own funds. So after doing that, we took the leap. February 2017, it was actually February 12th, just past our 4th year anniversary. We landed in St. John's from Montreal, and we never looked back. That's how we came here. Okay, question number 4. What does Chabad think of the non-religious? It's a very good question. The question comes, I guess, with a bit of a bias based on how other religious groups looked at the non-religious. Chabad, I think, does stand out because Chabad embraces every Jew. Doesn't matter who they are, doesn't matter, on their background, what they do, how they do it. We don't judge anybody, Jewish or not, for the things they do, the things they don't do. Somebody wants to come and study, somebody wants to come and experience Shabbat, Sabbath, somebody wants to study something, let them come, and what happens afterwards, that's up to them. We pride ourselves in providing a non-judgmental environment where everybody could explore their heritage at their own pace. Number 5, I am not Jewish. How can you help me? Also a very good question, because since we moved here in 2017, we have expanded our reach, and we work with the general community, many people that are not Jewish. And, I visit people in jail that are not Jewish. We offer counseling, classes, and anything else they might need. We're here to help everybody. As I said, we have expanded our reach. We're here to add value to everybody as far as my time allows. And we don't discriminate. Whoever comes asking for help, we're happy to help. More specifically, excuse me, we have 2 programs a year that are open to everybody. And a lot of people that are not from the Jewish community come, and we think it's great. So we have the public menorah lighting for Hanukkah, sometime in December, depending on where the Hebrew calendar, civil calendar align. So everybody's open to come. Hanukkah has a universal message of freedom of religion, mutual respect, understanding. And actually, this past year, 2020, we couldn't do an in-person one, usually in Bannerman Park. We had to do a drive-in event because of the pandemic, and we had our biggest turnout yet. And it was also snowing, but people came anyways and had a great time. And then the second thing is our Holocaust speaker series has been attracting a lot of people. We had almost 500 people when we had Mark Biederman at the Holy Heart in 2019. We had almost 400 people, just over 400 people in 2018 when we had Martha Cohen, Holocaust survivor who worked as a spy for the French army, and she is Kanai Nahara. She's in her late 90s, and she should live and be well. Here, somebody just left me a comment before, if you missed it, that Mark Biederman passed away. So we wish his neshama should have an aliyah, the soul should have an ascent, and the family should be comforted. We're so sorry for your loss. And so, yes, that's one of the things we've done. Also, 2020, we had it online with Holocaust Survivor Eve Roth. We had it over Zoom. We had over 100 Zoom participants. And we're planning for this year, 2021, also over Zoom with God's help and mercy. Okay, I'll be remiss not to mention one more thing before moving on to question 6. We're working on a very big project now. It's called Moment of Silence. The premise is to implement in all schools across Newfoundland and Labrador 1 minute of silent reflection for the children to think about a positive value that their parents or guardians or mentors told them about. And, for example, what's your role in society? Which things are you grateful for? Think about the fact that you're unique and the world needs you. So it's just 1 minute. It's not connected to any particular religion. It's not a prayer. Free for the schools. And there's very strong evidence that this 1 minute has a tremendous impact on children's lives, with a reduction in youth crime, less stress in the schools, huge boost in the mental health of the students, and abstinence from dangerous behaviors, alcohol use, drug use, and so on, while, of course, building on the parent-child bond or child and guardian, which is so crucial. So that's something we're spending a lot of time and effort in, trying to lobby politicians, trying to garner support from the business community to really get this program going. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, this program has been put in a bit of a back burner by the English school district. But if you are a teacher or know a teacher or principal and would like to tell them about the program, you like the program, you're excited, that will really help us push it forward. Okay, question number 6. I really like your daily clips. Where can I get more? Okay, so you could look back on the clips, and also we did start a podcast. I will have to post the link later. The post for the link to the podcast. The podcast does not have all the videos. It's just me working on it. I don't have a secretary or anything like that. So please bear with me, but it's coming. Okay, let's take a look at the comments. Folchai is here. Okay, I don't see any questions, so we'll go on. 1 second. Okay. Here. All right. So for the question of the day, just closing this thing here. For the question of the day, do dogs go to heaven? So I had to look this one up. This isn't your run-of-the-mill question. It is a question that's asked very often. People have pets that become very attached. and they want to know what happened to the pet after 120 years on this earth. So there is no clear consensus among Jewish authorities. There are different opinions. Based on the Medrash, it's clear that there's no such thing as a soul, so to speak, as far as the afterlife. Once the animal passes away, it's game over. But other authorities, like Rabbi Sadia Gaon, one of the Geonim, so the Geonim are even before the Rishonim. So this is about 1,000 years ago. He has a famous philosophical work called Emunot V'Deot. It's a book of beliefs and opinions. And he writes, yes, that animals do have a soul, and in fact, they do have a form of afterlife, because the Talmud says clearly, Ein HaKadosh Baruch Hu mekapech schar kol beri Hashem. God doesn't withhold the reward of any living creature. And so a creature that was helpful, added up positive atmosphere, does quote unquote go to heaven, has a form of afterlife. Also interesting to point out is that the Arizal, the Holy Ari, the great Kabbalistic master, also held of the opinion that everything has a soul, not just animals, which was a question, but even inanimate objects, and that's based on a medrash that says that nothing would be able to exist if God's utterances from the 10 big utterances in Genesis, let there be light, let there be trees, let there be everything. So if those 10 utterances would stop being there, nothing would be able to exist, because everything exists by God's words and letters being invested into everything. And the Medrash says that the Hebrew name of something, that's what gives it its vitality. The question is, 1 second, in the 10 utterances where God said in Genesis, let there be light, let there be trees, let there be the fish, doesn't say the word stone, doesn't say the word table. That's true. But there's a way that those letters derive from them, either by the assistance of changing one letter for another, or letters and words that have the same numerical value as those that are present in the 10 utterances. We'll speak more about that tomorrow in the Kabbalah class. So it's a good way for us to wrap up. That yes, so according to some opinions, animals do have souls, and they do have a form of afterlife. Of course, not like humans. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. You could leave us a comment. You could leave us a question if you want us to address for next time. God willing, next Sunday we'll do another Q&A. And stay tuned tomorrow, 12 p.m. Newfoundland time. We are going to be having our first live Kabbalah class. If you like the video, click on like, share with your friends so other people could be inspired and boost their day. Stay safe, stay warm. I'm Rabbi Chernitsky with Chabad of Newfoundland.